Hello everyone. In this video I'll be attempting to unravel some of the great complexities and secrets of the Brexit situation, which have been driving everybody in the UK, including myself, I think, perfectly nuts. So let's go. In this presentation on astrology and Brexit, I promise you I will not be bringing up the following charts. Battle of Hastings, 1066, commonly used by Western astrologers. Come on, guys. Yeah, there they are, battling over Brexit. It's not relevant. Getting closer, but still not relevant, is a UK chart of 1801, because we cannot relate it to any one particular event in this way. Or the European Union chart, November the 1st, 1993, one of the many treaties. No, we can't use it. Why? Because we cannot relate it specifically to Brexit. Anything we do, transits, progressions, even if I converted it to Vedic and did dashas, we couldn't relate it to the one event, Brexit. There is only one way. So the only logical way, everybody, is to use the birth or Brexit chart, which is the moment that the Leave victory occurred. Now, I know that many Western astrologers have also used this chart, but in this case, I'm going to add the Vedic technique of dashas for accurate timing. And indeed, the whole Vedic interpretation adds enormous depth, I believe. Not only that, I'm going to bring back David Cameron. Yes, because he was the man who started the whole ball rolling. Therefore, if we want to see for how long this whole Brexit situation will continue, we have to check his chart also. And I will bring back Boris, because it's coming to the crucial time now. And the synastry between Boris Johnson's chart and the chart of the beginning of Brexit is astounding. Finally, the Halloween chart, yes, I'll interpret it. Is it the beginning of the end, or the end, or even a new beginning? Let's see. So, the birth of Brexit chart at 0439 on the 24th of June 16. I've chosen this time because it was bang in the middle between when the ITV called a Leave victory and then a few minutes later BBC. So bang in the middle is 0439. I'm going to interpret the key factors in this chart, which are illuminating and help us to completely understand what has happened over the last 3 years, and give us some in-depth as to who is responsible, what is going on, and why is there no Brexit yet. So let's get going. First thing to understand is that the Sun and Venus are rising in Gemini. Very, very auspicious. As it stands, it's great because it all happened at dawn. Powerful planets. But after that auspicious start, everything seems to go haywire. Why? Because the ruling planet is all important. You must have a powerful placement, but the ruler is Mercury. And Mercury is in one of the weakest and most dangerous houses, the 12th house. Mercury is in the behind the scenes, secret enemies, secret maneuvers, manipulations, all sorts of undercover tactics going on. Immediately, the whole situation began. It also relates to foreign powers. And look, it is exactly opposed by Saturn, the absolute planet of delay. So immediately we can see this is not going to happen overnight. There are going to be endless roadblocks and endless delays. But don't switch off yet, because Saturn in the Vedic system, in the 6th house, is powerful. It's a powerful Saturn to destroy enemies, given the right time. It's not in the favourable sign Scorpio, but it's still fixed and determined. So let's see how it's going to pan out by the transits. But here's the second most important indicator of huge obstacles. The moon is a decreasing moon. There had just been a full moon, but now it's decreasing in light. In the Vedic system, that is not auspicious for starting a new venture. In fact, in all of astrology, if you try to start anything new on a decreasing moon, it's a big no-no. So right away, there's another indication there's going to be obstacles, and it's in the 8th house. That's a dangerous house of sudden events, sudden twists, absolute catastrophe, sometimes happening all the time because it's in a very strong sign, Capricorn. So much happening so quickly all the time. It's not a smooth process at all. In fact, it's the opposite. So there's the roadblocks, there's the secret manipulations behind the scenes activities, and here's the catastrophe and the difficulties that have been actually there all the way through. But if we really want to understand what is going on, there is only one aspect we need to study here. Rahu exactly at 22 Leo conjunct. It's so strong and so magnificent, it gives us deep insight. Now, I don't know if any West astrologers have picked up on this conjunction. They must have, but I haven't read much about it. It's the key thing. It's the only thing that really matters. It's very deep. I'm going to take some time with it because it's worth listening to. Jupiter means truth, honesty, above board actions, and justice. It means everything which is pure and good in our world. Rahu, however, means the exact opposite of that. Rahu is materialistic ambition, no holds barred, no ethics whatsoever. Anything goes, all out for greed and attainment and power. And underhand activities, absolutely. Nothing is out of reach to Rahu when he sets his mind on something. So, what's happened is that this purity of this moment, all the truth, all the justice, all the optimism has been eclipsed because Rahu is the force of the eclipse, has eclipsed Jupiter. There is no purity, there is no honesty. In simple language, there is a big lie, a huge lie at the back of the birth of this Brexit. And who is the lie coming from? Who is responsible for this big lie? It's Leo, because it happens in Leo. And in which house? The house of the media. We're getting there, but hold on. Leo is the monarchy in the ancient Vedic system, but of course now that they have no power whatsoever, so Leo is the government, the elite, the powerful establishment, even the civil service and the judiciary. They are Leo. And what have they done? They have pulled the wool over Jupiter, over the purity, over the honesty. It is not what it seems. And if we dig even deeper, what is Jupiter in this chart? Jupiter is the 7th house of the populace. Jupiter is the 10th house of the pinnacle of success. What was absolutely aimed for. So the people have had the wool pulled over their eyes by Rahu, by the rulers, and that will continue because it's the most strong conjunction in the whole chart. It's at the base of it all. Let's see how it has unfold right away after the vote. Leo, David Cameron, one of the rulers, resigned, and although he had said he would implement this result, it was a lie, the first lie. It was a lie because he didn't implement it. So the people were deceived. He didn't implement it. He walked away. That's the first ruler to go. Then the next ruler is Theresa May, who comes along and says, Brexit means Brexit. But what do we know now? That was another complete hoodwink, a complete lie. There's another Rahu-Jupiter moment. And now we have Boris Johnson. Are we going to have another hoodwink? Let's see when I put the chart of Boris with this chart together. But that's the essence of it. There is a lie. There is great deception. And of course, all of these powerful people like Gina Miller, it has to be said, they are absolutely Rahu here because they are coming in with their Leo status and their wealth, and they are manipulating the situation. So all the purity, all the honesty, all the justice of the moment of the vote has been destroyed. That might have sounded quite depressing, everybody, but that was my interpretation of the Vedic chart for the birth of Brexit. But look, if you want to make a prediction, the first thing we have to know is who is the Mahadasha Lord. That planet will tell us what's going to happen with this chart in the next year karmically, what the potential is. The ruler since the birth of Brexit has been Mars and continues to be Mars until April 2023. Now, Mars normally is a positive, energetic warrior planet who can defeat all the enemies and get success. But in this chart, Mars is very weak. Mars is in one of the weakest placements in Libra, the opposite of his sign Aries. When Mars is here, he has to compromise. He cannot do what he wants. He has to meet people halfway. And not only does he have to compromise, he's at 29 degrees Libra. This means that Mars is at the very end of the sign, old and worn out, as we say in the Vedic system. So there's an old, worn out warrior who has to compromise and cannot get what he would like to happen. And that is clearly, in a way, metaphysically, what's been happening since the whole Leave vote. So 2023 until that changes. But don't switch off, everybody. It's not over yet. Because coming up very, very soon is a whole eclipse cycle that has a potential, it's so powerful, to total this whole birth of Brexit chart and could be the very end of it and the start of something else. Let's go with that. So here is, as I said, the amazing synastry between Boris Johnson's chart and the birth of Brexit chart. It is quite amazing. And then we can see what this major eclipse cycle is going to do. Right. The birth of Brexit has Gemini, as I say, rising with the Sun and Venus in Gemini, the most powerful and beautiful part of the whole chart. This Sun and Venus in Gemini is exactly Boris Johnson's Sun and Venus in his 10th house. Not only that, the ruler of the birth of Brexit moment is Mercury. So the ruler of the Brexit situation is Mercury, and Mercury at 24 Taurus within 1 degree 25 Taurus is Boris Johnson's ruling planet also. It's almost as though at the moment that Brexit was born, rising on the eastern horizon was Boris Johnson, rising at dawn in this chart. It's quite metaphysical, isn't it, actually? It's quite astounding. So therefore we know that the destiny of this chart depends on this man, because his chart here, his 10th house, his career, his status is completely in synastry, exactly with the same planets as the rising moment of the Brexit chart. So what's going to happen? When Boris Johnson came to power in July, there was an eclipse on his Sun, Venus, K2 in his 10th house in Gemini and Sagittarius, which is the exact ascendant and descendant of the Brexit chart. That was eclipsed also. So his coming to power was a key factor in the whole development of this chart. But what is an eclipse? An eclipse turns things around 360 degrees and starts again from the beginning. Check out, everybody, I did a video about Boris and his chart at the very beginning of August, and I there said very clearly that he was in a dangerous period. I had no idea exactly how bad it was going to get, but it's been pretty bad. And I said he was going to have all sorts of secret enemies and huge difficulties, and he has had exactly that. But have a look at that chart. I also talked about coming up at the end of December this year and the beginning of January 2020, the second of that eclipse cycle in Gemini and Sag, totaling Boris Johnson's 10th house of career and totaling the birth of Brexit chart exactly on the sun of the birth of Brexit, 9 degrees sidereal Vedic Gemini, on the 26th of December 2019. And then the second eclipse is very much here and very much here on the 11th of Jan 2020. So that month, at the end of December, beginning of Jan, as I said in that video, is going to total everything. It is either going to be the end of the birth of Brexit, like it's not possible to happen anymore, or it absolutely happens. And whatever happens, though, it's all to do with Boris Johnson. It's all to do with his career. It's all to do with his future. So, we have an important vote tomorrow. I want to talk about that now. So, I'm going to discuss the transit chart for tomorrow, the 19th of October, and I'm going to post this video tonight on the 18th of October. It's a crucial day. It's the big vote, apparently, on Boris Johnson's deal. But look, here's the transit chart. We are stuck in the Kal Sarp Yoga that has been here since March and holding everything up. Where does the Kal Sarp Yoga occur? It's that Rahu Ketu division of the chart, and it's happening on the birth of Brexit, Sun and Venus, ascendant sign, and seventh house, cutting it in two like a knife. I talked about this in my Nigel Farage video and also in Boris Johnson's video, so I'm not going to talk about it too much here, but it is holding everything up. The Kal Sarp Yoga, it's containing it's a negative energy. In the Vedic system, it's a snake yoga. It's really intense and it's really karmic and hard to get out of the coil of the snake. So there's the snake coil. Tomorrow it's happening. And it's cutting through the birth of Brexit chart. And it's in Boris Johnson's 10th house of career and status. I can't say is it going to happen or not happen because astrology doesn't do it like that. We can say for sure, though, that it's going to have a major impact on whether this whole Brexit will occur because it's cutting through the birth of Brexit. So if we do move forward into this new deal, then it won't be what the birth of Brexit was all about because we're in the Mars Mahadasha, which cannot fulfill the whole situation. It doesn't change anything. It's still Mars Mahadasha. It's powerless to get what the people wanted. We are still in this Rahu Jupiter thing. It's always going to be a compromise, though, for Mars Mahadasha until 2023. If this chart continues, it's never going to be what the people voted for, according to my interpretation of this Vedic chart. So for Boris Johnson, is it a good day? Not particularly. No. His moon's in Libra and the moon is in Gemini. The moon in Gemini is not that favourable for moon in Libra people because it is 9 houses away and that's not favourable. He'll be far better off when the moon is in Cancer in a few days' time. So he won't be feeling the top of his game. Whatever he appears to be, inside he won't be happy because the moon isn't favourable to his moon. That's a very simple technique, but it's foolproof. It's, really, really good. He won't be 100% happy tomorrow. Whatever happens, he won't be happy. That's my prediction. Who else won't be happy? Who else? Actually, Dominic Cummings won't be too happy either. Or will he? Let's think. I'm just thinking now to his... No, he won't be. Dominic Cummings has an Aquarius moon right on Boris Johnson's Saturn. They're destined. Ooh, they've got some karma, Dominic and Boris. I must do Dominic Cummings' chart. Anyway, he has a moon in Aquarius. I checked it out. So the moon in Gemini isn't a particularly good day for him either. So if he's not feeling good and Boris isn't feeling good, we can make some predictions there maybe. It's going to be a Kal Sarp Yoga though. Seriously, guys, it's a difficult day to move things forward is all I can say about it. And I stay with my prediction. It's the end of December, beginning of Jan. The big eclipse dates. They are what are going to really total this whole Brexit situation one way or the other. But look, Didn't I say I'm going to look at David Cameron's chart? It could be interesting. Let's go. But, guys, before I go, I've just missed something. On this transit chart, the moon is in Gemini, and remember I was talking about the decreasing moon and being powerless to move things forward? This is a decreasing moon also. The full moon has occurred and it is now decreasing on the 19th of October 2019. So if there was a vote in favor of this new, whatever it is, withdrawal act or treaty, it won't go well because the moon is decreasing. It's not the birth of something new at all. It's hard to start something new tomorrow. So it's a decreasing moon, it's a Kalsarp Yoga. It's not a favourable moment. Oh, David Cameron's chart. I was able to predict his downfall using eclipse cycles. So you see how powerful they are. When I made a video, it's on my channel in 2015 before the election and certainly before the referendum. And as I said then, his sun Mahadasha was starting very, very soon and was going to be unfavourable for him. Very much so. Ruler of his 12th house of loss, but also foreign powers. And I want to give all due respect here to Pandit Sanjay Rath, very famous Vedic astrologer, a brilliant astrologer, because in a very recent lecture in London, he said, as an aside, really, just a side remark, if anybody wants to know about when the Brexit will finish, check out the chart of David Cameron. He began it, and only when his Mahadasha finishes will the whole situation resolve. So thank you, Pandit Sanjay Rath. June 2021 then. It's very likely that it will take that long to resolve this situation because he was the initiator of it. So there's an interesting insight which I think we need to take a great deal of notice of. But still, I will absolutely stick by my predictions of these coming eclipses, as I've just been talking about, being a crucial turning point. Still, let's have a look at the Halloween chart. So everybody, finally, here it is, the Halloween chart. 11 p.m, 31st of the 10th, 19 in London. Is this the chart of Brexit? All I can say is, if it is, it's not going to go well at all because it's such an unstable, destabilized moment. If you check my video that I did on Boris Johnson, and I posted that at the beginning of August, I was very clear there that the 31st of October is a destabilized moment. Totally not good. Why is this? Well, two main things from the Vedic point of view. Of course, the sun is always going to be in the fourth unfavourable house at 11 o'clock. So, but it's debilitated in Libra. That's not good. Second thing, Jupiter is Gandanta, the very end of Scorpio. This means destabilized. The energy is totally incongruent with any sort of purposeful, successful action. And it is just on the verge, however, of going into its own sign where it will meet with Saturn and Ketu, the karmic planets. Oh, it's a dangerous moment. I hope you're not thinking, oh my God, my child's going to be born on this date. That's absolutely fine. If there's any babies being born, then super. I'm not reading this like a human chart. I'm absolutely reading this politically. Just wanted to put that in here. Okay, so yeah, it's a very destabilized moment. The only positive thing is that the moon is at least increasing slightly, but it's still a dark moon. Check the video of Jeremy Corbyn where I explain what a dark moon is and how dangerous that can be. Furthermore, Saturn and Ketu are conjunct in Sag, still in the 6th house with that moon. Now, Saturn 6th is good. It gives long-term progress. But Ketu, again, it's the tail of the snake with the moon. And it's in the sign of foreign powers. There's a whole pile of karmic energy here that is unsettled, completely, how can I say, claustrophobic here, as though it can't break free. The moon is trapped completely, and the moon is the ruler, guys. The ruler is absolutely trapped with Ketu and Saturn in the sixth house of conflicts and enemies. So I would say that I very much doubt this is the actual moment of the Brexit. But if it is the moment of Brexit, then it's going to be such a difficult transition. It's going to be fraught with danger and enemies and difficulty, and I don't really think it's going to be anything like what people voted for. Look where Gemini is. Gemini is the ruler of the Brexit chart I've just drawn up. It's in the 12th house of loss. And this is Boris Johnson's 10th house also in there. So the moon in Gemini, by the way, it's always nice to think. Sorry, that was the moon in Sagittarius, of course. The moon in Sagittarius, that energy is either going to be favorable for certain people or not. As a little bit of fun, if you like, but it's quite good astrology too. Who's having a good day on the Halloween day? Is Boris Johnson having a good day? Well, not at the beginning of the day at all, but because the moon in Scorpio is not good for his Libra moon. But at the end of the day, he's feeling a lot better. He's feeling a lot better at this moment. And so is Dominic Cummings, because moon in Sag is good for his Aquarius moon. I can't tell you about Jeremy Corbyn. I don't know what time he was born, and he won't tell us. So sometimes you can make some sort of assessment from who's feeling good or not. But it was just a little aside there. So there it is, the Halloween moment, the Kalsop Yog, totally powerful, trapping all the energy. If we are going to have a successful Brexit, there would be a much better date than this in 2020, I'm sure, particularly when Saturn has moved into its powerful sign of Capricorn, which is actually going to happen at the end of January. Okay, but if it is Brexit, it is Brexit, and we have to go with it either way. But as I have just said, it's such an unstable moment, I very much doubt it. But as I say, let's just hope for the best in every way for our country. I hope you've enjoyed this video, everybody. If you have, sub below. I'm starting again on YouTube with my Vedic Astrology. Goodbye and God bless everybody.